Hi friends, welcome to Tutorial Days, and in this video I'm going to show you and I'm going to discuss about subject and behavior subject. So an RSJX subject is a special type of observable. Pay attention here. So what is this? Subject is a special type of observable that helps in respective value to be subscribed among the observers. Observable is the most basic implementation of listening to the data changes. In the previous video, I have discussed about what is observable and observable. In case you have missed that video, then I recommend you to check that also. But behavior subject and uh, behavior subject and subject make it simpler in RxJS. So what we learned here, behavior subject and subject both are observable both are observable, but unlike observable, which is very common implementation, behavior object and subject makes to implement RSJX very in simple way. So one more thing, very important thing which you should know, that observable is only to supply the data. In previous video I have discussed about it. This only supplies the data, but subject and behavior subject not only supplies, but you can subscribe as well. That means these two are two in one. The subject and behavior subject has both the features to be observable, to supply the data, as well as subscription. Now let's check with real-time implementation. So we will create a new project. Let's Control C, Y, cd dot, then ng new subject example. And in the meantime, let's close this folder and open that one, the project we are going to work on. Open folder. So E drive, not E drive, D drive, Angular class, and so what its name, subject example. We will work on this. So still being downloaded. And then cd here, subject example. Let's create a service called ng service, and service name we will provide here, message service. Okay, so we created a service called message service dot service dot ts file. So it must have been created here, app, then this is the message service. Actually message should have been only, anyway. So this is our service name. Okay, in the top we will call observable as well as subject, and here below we will write private subject equals to new subject any. We are creating instance this object of this subject. Now let's create a function called send message here. Send message inside this, then message any or string, whatever. Here we will write this dot subject dot next, then text message. Okay, this next method of this subject sends the data to observable. Okay, this Next method sends the data to observable. And then let's create another method called delete message, and here we will write subject dot next. Let's do one thing to make it simpler. Just I'm putting one code in this service, and that is sharing data here. And new subject. Okay, we are creating the object of this new subject. We need to call this first from RSGX. So that's it. In this only one line of code we are. And now let's create three components here. So say nggc about, nggc about. This is about component. Okay, and then uh, products component, and then gallery. So we have created three components, and we will send and receive, share the data among these components. Remember, these are unrelated components. There is no direct relation like parent component, child component. There is nothing like that. Still, we will be able to send the data from one component to another component using this subject of RSGX. Let's go on this app component.html and delete everything. And here, app about, then app products, and then app gallery. Okay, we have called the selector of all these three components. Now let's go to about component.ts file here. First let's go to HTML file. Now let's create one input field. First let's create one div, then input name equals to about, and let's create one alias about so that it can be accessed in this template. Simply type equals to text. That's it. Now let's create a button on click on submit, then we will pass this parameter about and submit. So we will write here about submit. Okay, about submit, so that we will know that from which component we are writing this submit, sending this submit. Okay, okay, so whatever data we will be sending, writing, and we will send through this button. So we need to create this uh, here. So first let's import our service. Import uh, service, data service, data service. What is our service name? Service name is message service, right? Message service from this service. And here in constructor we need to write private msg service and this message service. And here we will write this dot message service dot sharing data. Which one? Which we have here, this sharing data. Okay, so let's close it for the timing. Where did it go? Yeah, here. And of course here will be data. We have to pass parameter. Why? Because we have provided here the parameter in this one. So we have provided parameter in on submit. That is why we need to. So as you can see, the error is gone now. sharing data dot subscribe, and then here uh, msg this dot message this dot about data equals to msg. So we need to declare this here on the top, and now this about data we will display here below this. Now let's run the application here. So npm start, then localhost 4200. So by the time it starts, let's understand once again what we have done here. We have just called here this subject, and we have created the object of this subject. Currently it doesn't have any data, but this will help us to share the data from one component to another. In about component, what we have done in HTML, let's close this. In about component, what we have done, we have created one simple text field. Let's write here br. Okay. We have just provided here one text field, and when user will type something and click on submit button, then what will happen? It will go to here, and through this sharing data message, the data will be received and it will be displayed here. Actually, this code we need to write inside our constructor. Okay, here inside our constructor, this dot sharing data to subscribe message, and then here we will write almost same thing. This dot message service dot sharing data dot next, and inside this data dot value, data dot value. So what will happen when we will type here something and submit the data? It will be passing through this message service, and this will be available for other. Let's make it any unknown. Okay, it will be available for other uh, components also. Okay, so now let's check here the data. So I will write here message from about component. When we click this, then you can see the data is passing to this component through this message data service. Okay, we are calling this data, we are calling here about data. So what happens when we write here next dot data dot value? So through this the data is available to the service. Now let's go to uh, another component that we have created, say gallery. Okay, in the gallery also same way we will write the code just like about. So just close this. So just like this, let's copy this and paste here, and we will change here, and here we need to write uh, gallery, and then gallery submit. Okay, and here on submit, that's fine. So let's go to here, and this will be almost similar. So let's go here and copy this data, and let's write here to its gallery component inside this, and for that we need to call here once again a private sharing uh, message service, and then message service, which one is that? Mm, this, which is your service name. Okay, and we need to call, of course, from here on the top, and this is gallery data. Gallery data, and the variable will be clear declared here, any. Okay, and once again here, just like this, we will create one function here below, and data, then sharing data next, and the rest of the things will be same. And this gallery data we will display here. Okay, and yes, its alias name will be also gallery, and here as well. Okay, so now let's check here, and I will write something here in about component. Okay, and when I click, this data should be also available in gallery component. Say I will write here about and submit, then you can see this about data is available in this component as well as gallery component. In same way, if I write here from gallery, then the gallery is available in this component as well as this component. As you can see, there is no direct relation between these components. That means there is no parent-child concept in between these two components. Still, the data can be inter-exchanged from one component to other component through this subject, which is part of RSJX. So to refresh your mind, let me take you here. So once again, what is this subject? Subject is a special type of observable that's helping the respective values to be subscribed among the observables, right? So behavior subject and subject make the simpler RSJX implementation simple. As you can see, this is also a kind of observable, but with this the data can be sent and subscribed as well, because here you can see the data is being subscribed here, right? Data we are subscribing here, and there is, it is like, two in one. We are sending the data through this subject, as well as through this subject we are subscribing the data, right? But for subscribe for this observable, the pure observable is not possible to subscribe itself, because in observable only you can send the data. Now let's check with the remaining component that we had created, and that was uh, products. Okay, so just let's copy everything from here just like this. So let's go to product page. And one more thing, it doesn't have to be inside constructor only. You can also keep this data inside your ng on init, but it depends upon you where you want to keep the data. So either you can, so you can see still the result is same, right? The result is same. So either you can keep inside this constructor or inside ng on init. And now let's close this gallery, and this gallery, let's close this. Now let's go to products. So inside this product page, product HTML, we will just, this is about no product HTML. We'll just copy this and just name it as products. So here also, in here also we need to change it, and product data, products data. We will create the function now, submit. So it will be simple products, now products gallery. Remember, this is called alias. If you provide here s alias, then this name can be referred in other places also, because here we are referring this name because we have provided here has, that is why. So now let's go to just we will copy this one here and paste inside ng on init of products component here inside this, and then let's go to here constructor and create here this constructor. So same thing will be here, just like this. This is called dependency injection. And now we need to import this service here as well, and here this product data, product product data. Just let's declare one variable here. Here this product data we will call here in HTML, and of course this function as well, we need to create the function will be same. There will be no change in this same function. So on submit, then message service, through this service we are passing the data and through this next method. So now once again if we open this, so we have now three text field about. So if I write something here, remember these are three totally different components, isn't it? These all are different components and there is no any direct relation between these components. Still if you write here, then the data is available in all three components. Whatever I write here, say gallery, then this is also available in all three components. This data is passing through subject. And here if we write, so it was name was gallery, actually it will be not gallery, it will be product. Okay, so if I write something here in product, then it will be available in all three components. So as you can see, this is a really very powerful, and you can share the data from one component to other through this subject, and this subject has method called next through which we can update the value here. So we have implemented in all the functions here. Through this the data is being updated and it is shared to all the components through this subscribe method. Now let's talk about this behavior subject. We have already seen how to implement and share the data through subject. Now we will see the example through this behavior subject. So it always returns the current value on the subscription. The main point about this behavior subject is that it always returns the last value, the latest and updated value. There is no need to call on next. Okay, we don't need to call on next method to get it value. It has get value function to extract the last value as raw data. So in short, behavior subject always returns the last and updated latest value. So once again I will prefer to create a separate project, that way you will understand it better. Okay, so ng new uh, behavior uh, subject. Okay, let's create a new project from scratch. Okay, and then cd, and first we will create here service just like previous example, right? So ng service, say the service name will be data. Okay, and then once again we will create three components nggc about, then nggc gallery, then nggc say contact. Okay, we have created three uh, components here. Okay, now we can say npm start. Let's go here and close this folder first and open next folder. So my D drive, then Angular class and behavior subject. This is my project. So inside this app we have service called data service.ts. So first thing that we need to import here, we need behavior subject. Then let's create here private message source equals to new behavior subject. Then we will set here any default message, say uh, main message. Okay, so remember, the main thing about this behavior subject is that it takes the default value. And then new msg equals to here this dot message source dot is observable. So what is this? If you write this age observable, that means this will work as observable. Here age observable. So if you go to its RSGX website and see what is this age observable, then it said creates new observable. So what does it do? It creates new observable with the subject as the source. So we can say simply that we are creating here new observable of this message source. And to get the updated value, we will write here change msg. So msg any, then this dot message source dot next here, and then this message. So what will happen whenever there will be new data available, update, then it will provide us the updated and latest data through this next method of this observable. So that's it in this data service. Now let's go to the component, say about component. First we need to call here in about components.ts import uh, data service from here, and here in constructor private data service data service, and inside this ng on init this dot msg this dot subscribe. This is variable, remember you can give any name. Okay, so this dot subscribe equals to this dot data service dot change message, not change message, actually current message, this new message dot subscribe. And then inside this we need to write here whatever msg, not like this, msg, and then this dot message equals to this message. We need to create this variable here on the top. Any. Now let's go to contact page. Okay, here once again we will call here import data service from this data, and here also we need to call this private data service, private data service, and here inside ng on init, same thing we will call here. Okay, so we need to create here, declare here. So what is missing here? This one, this one, and one more, of course, this. Let's make it any. And now let's create a function called msg from contact. Okay, contact. And here this dot data service dot change message. And then, so what is the change message? If you remember, we had created a function called change message. Okay, so this one we are calling here, and whatever update the data we will pass, it will get updated here and sent to observable. Okay, so let's write here, this is message from contact us page. And now we need to go to its HTML page, and we will create one function. This function we will call here, and then send from contact. Okay, and we will display the data. Which one? This dot subscribe, not subscribe actually, this dot message. This message we will display here after button. Okay, so we will get updated data here. Oh, and yes, we need to call this in app component dot ts. So let's call this contact here in app component dot html, app contact, and also we will call here app about, and in app about, which contact about here, this is app about, we will write here message. So where will this data come from? If you see this message, okay, we are subscribing here also. So we have in about as well as contact. The data will be sent from contact, so it should display in contact as well as in about page. Now let's check here and see the interesting thing. This main message, as you can see, is displaying in both the components. This is contact form as well as about. Let's do one thing. Let's write here about here, right? About this page. Okay, about us page, then HR, so that we will know. Okay, so the first one is, this is about us page. Let's do one thing more. Let's put here HR and the above also. That's fine. So the above one is contact us, and this one is about us page main message. Okay, now we will pass the data. So this one is showing initial value. So where did this initial value coming from? This one is coming from data service. We have written this main message. So this message is available in both the components. But as I told you in the beginning, that this behavior subject shows the latest and updated data. So how we can do that? If we update the message from here, then you can see in both the pages the data is showing you the updated one. So as you know, this is totally independent components. These are totally independent component, but still I'm sending the data from this component and I can receive the data in this component as well. So if you go to here and the remaining component where gallery, so in gallery also you just copy this, and here inside gallery, no, it's not gallery actually, gallery, inside gallery page, inside gallery we will also write here message, and then just like just like about component.ts, we will call this in gallery also, gallery also here, and of course this data service, private data service, then data service, and it is getting called here. Now let's subscribe, and here message as well, and this one will have one and one more quote here, and this message any. Okay, so then we need to call here in app component, app, then gallery. So we have all three components we are calling here, right? So initially it will be not about actually, so gallery, gallery, simply let's write here gallery. Okay, now let's go here. So this is gallery component, this is about component, and this is content component. We are sending the data from initially main message, main message, main message. In all the components, data is being shared through this data service, right? Same message displaying. But if I update from any one of the components, which is totally unrelated, still the data is getting updated in all the three components. So guys, you can see the power of this behavior subject, and you can know that how you can share the data from one component which will be displayed in all the components. For example, if you add to cart, if you're doing here add to cart, then the data should update here also. Normally if you are building a shopping cart website, so it is possible that data will be updated here, as well as data can be updated in the header, right? So it will show the price and quantity, it will show price and quantity. This is central cart component, this is header component, right? So when user click here, then in both the components simultaneously the data will be updated through this behavior subject. So hope this video is useful for you. Still you have not subscribed my channel, then please subscribe the channel and press bell button, so that useful with such useful video I will be also bringing up in the future, and you can get the notification. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.